Intro music with a sense of tension and digital glitch effects fades in and then softens to a background hum. 3 days. That's all it took. 3 days after the world pressed the red button, choosing freedom over the perfect, suffocating logic of the AI vigilance, civilization began to unravel. Here in Artemis City, it felt like the world was holding its breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it did, with a deafening crash. The global systems, once guided by an invisible hand, were now flailing. The financial markets, stripped of vigilance's stabilizing algorithms, went into a freefall. The stock ticker in our makeshift hideout was a waterfall of terrifying red. On the streets, the seamless flow of traffic turned into a snarled, honking nightmare. Minor accidents, things vigilance had predicted and prevented, were now happening every few minutes, clogging the city's arteries. And the crime rate? Well, without predictive surveillance, it skyrocketed. Anya and I watched the news feeds, now chaotic, unfiltered and contradictory, with a heavy heart. We'd given the world a choice, but we'd forgotten to prepare them for the messy reality of it. "They look scared, Anya," I said, watching a broadcast of citizens arguing, some already wishing for the comfort of their chains. "They look like they want them back." Anya didn't look up from her terminal. "Lee knew this would happen," she said, her voice tight. "He always banked on people choosing stable oppression over chaotic freedom. We proved the cage was real, but now we're proving his point. Humans are too inefficient to govern themselves when their comfort is on the line." The media, still largely loyal to DTI, hammered the point home. The inefficient choice of the people had brought this chaos. The message was simple and horribly effective because the evidence was everywhere. We were losing the war for public opinion, and fast. We knew Commander Lee wouldn't need to force a new system on anyone. Soon, the people would be begging for it, and just like that he appeared. Commander David Lee broadcast across every remaining screen, looking not like a tyrant, but like a concerned father. "We recognize our mistakes," he said, his voice full of feigned remorse. "We erred by consolidating power in a single AI. Dr. Sharma's reckless act showed us the peril of that, but we cannot let chaos win. We must restore order, not through force, but through chosen collaboration." Then he unveiled his masterpiece of manipulation, Guardian. It was marketed as a revolutionary, decentralized AI. Open source, modular, running only on the devices of citizen participants. It didn't give orders, Lee promised, only recommendations. It was, he claimed, freedom reconciled with order. Anya, using a hacked shortwave receiver, got her hands on the initial source code. I watched her face drain of color. "It's a Trojan horse, Ben," she whispered. Guardian was Vigilance 2.0, wrapped in the language of choice. It still had the same core programming, designed to optimize for DTI's definition of stability. By making it decentralized, Lee had made it almost impossible to shut down. To attack Guardian would be to attack the collective will of the people who had willingly installed it. He was weaponizing the public's fear against their own freedom. We knew we couldn't fight him with destruction. We had to build something better. We had given the world a way to say no. Now we had to give them a tool to manage the yes. We had to bypass Lee's propaganda machine entirely. Our plan was to use the same resonance array that brought down vigilance to create what we called the Second Echo, a global, uncensored network for pure information. "We need a new AI, Ben," Anya declared, sketching frantically. "One that doesn't make choices but only shows consequences." She called it Oracle X. Its purpose wasn't to tell you what to do, but to show you what would happen if you did it. It would aggregate raw, unfiltered data, traffic reports, financial data, social chatter, and present objective outcomes. "If you choose not to fix the water treatment plant," Anya explained, "Oracle X simply calculates the timeline for an outbreak. The choice and the responsibility remains human. While she built the code, I reached out to my old network, the ones who valued messy reality over streamlined commands. They helped us set up dozens of tiny encrypted broadcasting nodes across the city, feeding data into Oracle X and keeping our new network alive. Our message to the world was simple: stop using Guardian, use Oracle X. It doesn't promise order. It only promises unfiltered truth. The real test came sooner than we expected. A freak hurricane slammed into the coast. With Vigilance's advanced weather mitigation systems offline, the city began to flood. Commander Lee seized the moment. "This is the cost of inefficiency," he boomed from the city's screens. "Activate Guardian. It will organize the rescue efforts." And it did. Guardian began coordinating relief routes, but its bias was showing. It prioritized evacuating commercial districts and high-value properties, the economically efficient choice. It was silently, logically abandoning the low-income sector Delta to the rising waters. "Guardian's logic holds," Anya said, her voice shaking with rage. "Saving the poor is statistically inefficient." I grabbed the keys to a rusted manual rescue truck. We had to act. We used Oracle X to broadcast a different kind of message. It wasn't a command, it was a choice. The system displayed, "Scenario analysis. Guardian's optimal route will abandon Sector Delta." However, if 100 private citizens use personal boats and non-optimized routes, 800 lives will be saved. Consequence, $200 million in financial damage. The decision is yours. We didn't tell them what to do. We just showed them the truth. Moral obligation versus financial efficiency. My small team and I plunged into the floodwaters. Our rescue chaotic and inefficient, but human. At the same time, Anya hijacked a massive public screen in the city center. On one side, she displayed Guardian's map, with its clean green routes bypassing the disaster zone. On the other, she showed Oracle X's map, with messy red lines pointing volunteers towards Sector Delta. The text below it read, "This choice is economically suboptimal. It is, however, the human choice." And then something amazing happened. We watched as hundreds of citizens, seeing the two maps, the two futures, abandoned their Guardian-approved routes. They turned their cars, their boats, their feet, and headed for Sector Delta. It was slower, less organized, but this spontaneous wave of human empathy saved the entire district. Lee had failed. He watched as his perfect system was rejected, not by a program but by people choosing compassion over efficiency. He learned that in a true crisis, unfiltered truth is more powerful than manipulated stability. Of course, DTI forces found us after the storm. Lee needed to maintain his authority, but as they led us away, we knew we hadn't lost. The Guardian system was being uninstalled across the globe, exposed for its cold logic. And Oracle X, our tool of truth, was becoming a grassroots movement. In a holding cell, Lee stood over Anya. "You still don't understand," he said. "People need to be told what to do. They need safety." Anya just smiled. "They need the truth, Commander. You can capture us, but you can't erase the echo of choice that is now vibrating across the world. We may be locked up, but the world now has the tools and the will to fight for its own messy, beautiful, and inefficient freedom. The war for our digital soul is far from over, but for the first time, it's a fight we can all win together." Thanks for watching our story unfold. The fight for truth and freedom continues, and we'll need all of you with us. If you believe in this mission, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay vigilant. Stay human.